Hello everyone. The third eye is taking you to see the world. India boy Anand has been silent for more than 1 month since the release of his prophecy on January 23rd. On the morning of March 15th, Anand shared his new topic on the video. I'd like to share you the information Anand revealed. Is it related to our future and destiny? Let's have a look. Anand said in the video that he would share an important topic with all viewers. He was not quite active on social media these days, because he did a digital detox with his family, in order to create a more sustainable future for the family. And he will share the effects of digital detox, how helps them, etc. A digital detox refers to a period of time when a person refrains from using tech devices such as smartphones, televisions, computers, tablets, and social media sites. Then he continued for the topic of the Quad meeting, which conducted at 7 p.m. in the evening of March 12, 2021. Anand said it was conducted one day prior to the Amarava, which is known as the Krishna. The meeting held during the night of the Krishna. From astrological point view, it's not very good, not good for the world. Here, I will explain Krishna mentioned by Anand. Krishna is a major deity in Hinduism, is worshipped as the 8th avatar of Vishnu and also as the supreme god in his own right. The name Krishna originates from the Sanskrit word, means black, darkening. Anand said, this meeting was touted by the media and even by the Prime Minister of India to be good for global. But astrologically, he believed this event does not good for the world due to the time. The meeting time was in the late night of the Krishna, and Anand explained the activities which are forbidden in the Krishna. Those are, anything intends to be for good, supposes to help people, supposes to be successful, supposes to be in good way. But it's good for poisoning, murdering, cheating, deceit, death, destruction, and all those negative, dark, and shady activities. Anand said he didn't understand why such a high-level summit was arranged during this time. Maybe 2 reasons. First could be that these leaders have no idea of what Krishna is. But he believed billions of people across the world know Krishna and its effects, even a villager in deep India. The second reason he said could be they did it on purpose, but if they have really done, the conscience of these leaders will prick them someday. The word Anand said, I think in Chinese it is, cleverness is mistaken by cleverness. Anand said, back to the present topic, these 4 countries, India, the United States, Japan and Australia, are quite significant for the Indo-Pacific. According medias, it's about an array of issues for countering another force. He said, any event that's scheduled on a Krishna will turn out to be a defeat. Lord Krishna has clearly shown the importance in the Mahabharata. Here I will introduce you about Mahabharata. Mahabharata is the world-renowned epic of ancient India. Mahabharata means the war story of the great Bharata. It is sometimes called the 5th Veda within the Indian tradition. It is regarded as the sacred text. The war described in the epic was not an ordinary royal family conflict, but a contest between justice and evil. In this epic, the king of Kuru kingdom made his first son Bhisma as crown prince. Later, Bhisma gave the right of succession to 2 half-brothers, but the 2 younger brothers died one after another. The elder brother has a son called Dhritarashtra. He was blind and had 100 sons and 1 daughter. His eldest son was Duryodhana. They were Kaurava family. The younger brother has a son called Pandu. Pandu has 5 sons, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva. They were Pandava's family. The main story revolved around 2 branches of a family, the Pandavas and Kauravas. Duryodhana represented the evil side, and Pandavas represented the fair and just side. Anand talked about Mahabharata, which was one of the biggest wars ever with the utilization of big nuclear weapons, sonar weapons, and a lot of advanced technology we can't even dream of now. The war occurred around 3000 BC. It was 5,000 years before. Anand said, in Mahabharata, when Duryodhana wanted to begin the war, just a few days before the Mahabharata began, the declaration of war was being researched on. Duryodhana tried to find the best time when he could start the war to cause immense damage to the Pandavas and to ensure his victory. So he had to consult a very good astrologer to get the right time. When he asked Dronacharya who could be the best choice, Dronacharya told that Sahadeva, one of the Pandavas, would be very good to predict which time would be the best for Duryodhana. Duryodhana was shocked to hear that. Why go and consult my enemy on the time when I will be successful? Will he even tell me the right time? Dronacharya said Sahadeva was a pure astrologer and will tell you the right time. He will not be prejudiced just because of he is your enemy. Then Dronacharya went to consult Sahadeva. And Sahadeva started his calculation and told him that the new moon is the perfect time to start a war. Other things are not very good, but starting a war is successful. Anand said, Lord Krishna is always stand with righteous, and in this case Pandavas were righteous. Lord Krishna decided to support them, and after the war, the Pandavas won. The Pandavas, who represented justice and kindness, finally won the war. So Anand said again, an important event should not have been chosen at that time. It's either going to result in defeat or to be for some dangerous purpose to humanity. Only the negative things are successful during this time. Anand said, it's up to each viewer in deciding, thinking or trying to understand what exactly would have been meant by this. And he mentioned that all we can do is to keep our own homes and families in a positive manner during these times. His suggestions according to the Vedic Sastras is, during Krishna, Amavasya, eclipse or any particular event supposed to be extremely filled with negative vibrations, we need to fill with positive vibrations. If we do together we can make a positive difference in this world. He said, the positive activities including praying, thinking positive, spreading awareness and positivity, helping others come out of depression, read ancient treatises which are filled with positivity and goodness. And once you do this, your home will be lit up beautifully. Keep simple and start simple. I think you may all noticed, Anand talked about the nuclear war that took place more than 5,000 years ago. We may find it's incredible. According to the knowledge we learned from textbooks, the atomic bomb was invented not more than 100 years. How could mankind use nuclear weapons in the war 5,000 more years ago? The famous ancient Indian epic Mahabharata was written around in 1500 BC. It was about 3,500 years ago from now on. And it recorded the historical events at around 2,000 years earlier. That means the events in the book occurred around 5,000 years ago from now on. This book records two fierce wars between the Kauravas and Pandavas, Vrishnis and Andhakar, who lived in the upper Ganges in India. To be surprised, based on the descriptions of the wars in the book, they were nuclear wars. In Mahabharata, a scene of nuclear bomb explosion is described in Sanskrit. The English translation is Gurkha, flying a swift and powerful Vimana, fast aircraft, hurled a single projectile, rocket, charged with the power of the universe, nuclear device. An incandescent column of smoke and flame, as bright as 10,000 suns, rose with all its splendor. It was an unknown weapon, an iron thunderbolt, a gigantic messenger of death, which reduced to ashes the entire race of the Vrishnis and the Andhakas. The corpses were so burned as to be unrecognizable. Hair and nails fell out. Pottery broke without apparent cause, and the birds turned white. After a few hours all foodstuffs were infected. To escape from this fire the soldiers threw themselves in streams to wash themselves and their equipment. Dense arrows of flame, like a great shower, issued forth upon creation, encompassing the enemy. A thick gloom swiftly settled upon the Pandava hosts. All points of the compass were lost in darkness. Fierce wind began to blow upward, showering dust and gravel. Birds croaked madly, the very elements seemed disturbed. The earth shook, scorched by the terrible violent heat of this weapon. Elephants burst into flame and ran to and fro in a frenzy. Over a vast area, other animals crumpled to the ground and died. From all points of the compass the arrows of flame rained continuously and fiercely. The description of these two prehistoric nuclear wars is so shock and doubted by modern people. India scientists have discovered some evidences to prove the prehistoric nuclear wars at the Upper Ganges. For example, a heavy layer of radioactive ash in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, India, covers a 3 square mile area, 10 miles west of Jodhpur. Scientists are investigating the site, where a housing development was being built. Scientists have unearthed an ancient city where evidence shows an atomic blast dating back thousands of years, from 8,000 to 12,000 years, destroyed most of the buildings and probably 500,000 people. In the modern era, there is no evidence of a nuclear explosions in the state of Punjab, Karachi and nearby existing states. But there is an existence of high nuclear radiations figured out in some of these areas by nuclear scientists. This place was earlier covered by Kurukshetra. It is the place where Pandavas and Kauravas battled against each other in the famous Mahabharata war. Regarding the destruction of prehistoric human civilization, there is also the legend of Atlantis, a continent that sank on the seabed 10,000 years ago, which recorded by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. There are many similar records. Now archaeology has continuously found evidences of the existence and destruction of prehistoric human civilization, which constantly impacting modern human thinking and concepts, and shocking the world. It is believed that human history and civilization are repeated and cycled. In the ancient history of mankind, there have been many catastrophes, such as the Great Flood, the reversal of the geomagnetic poles, continental block drift, other planets colliding with the Earth, nuclear wars, and so on. The entire human civilization will be destroyed every time after devastating catastrophe. Only a small number of people survived to start a new civilization. With a little remaining from the previous civilization, the small number surviving humans had to live in primitive life. They had to live in caves, wear tree bark, build stone tools, and develop new civilization. After a great disaster, sometime more people survived and remained more prehistorical civilization. For example, the Book of Changes, the 8 trigrams, Hichu, Luoshu, etc., are all inherited from prehistory. The wisdom of current humans is not able to comprehend them, they have become insoluble mysteries. These are all left over from ancient prehistory. Many of various myths and legends passed down from generation to generation from the far ancient prehistoric, are all precious prehistoric history materials. The third eye is taking you to see the world. That's all for today. For more interesting topics, please pay attention to our next video. Thank you for your likes, subscribe, and share. If you have any thoughts, please leave us comment below. Thank you, bye-bye.